This is the Top Velocity sled. It's a great device to teach the function of the lower half, specifically the drive leg. It's a pushing sled. And when you have a pushing sled, which you can get at topvelocity.net/sled, it forces you to better stabilize your back leg. So if I try to collapse my back leg and push, it's harder to push. If I keep it external or in torsion, and I sit and push, I'm way more stable, have way more leverage to push momentum that way. So if you haven't watched, I just did some videos on like triple extension, on how the hip works and avoiding things of like gravity and drift that really don't explain the function of the back hip and how we move as pitchers. You need to watch those. Right now I want to show you why flexion, triple flexion, is so critical to the momentum you create through your stride. So triple flexion is a flexion of the ankle, the knee, and the hip flexor. So I need to flex into those positions so I can create drive. That's how I accelerate momentum, which is gonna pump a lot of energy in my body and get a lot of energy going up to the ball. So what I do is I don't wanna just move down because I need to get direction. I need to move towards the target. So I'm gonna abduct my hip like I talked about in most previous videos, and I'm gonna allow this hip to keep abducting to help me push this sled and move forward as I flex ankle, knee, and hip flexor. I wanna get to the point where I have this flexion and my shin is pointing that direction because my hip has abducted it. So now when I'm in this position, the sled can prove it, now I have the ability to drive and power, and I feel explosive. The problem is if I don't move into flexion, which I see a lot of young players and inexperienced guys do this, they'll lift, they'll abduct, but they won't flex. They'll actually extend. So now when they get linear, the knee's extended, the ankle's a little extended, the hip's getting extension. Now I don't have the power to drive. For example, watch, I can barely push the sled, mainly because I lost the knee flexion. So you gotta make sure as you go forward, you're abducting the hip so the thigh is coming up like you're doing a split. Therefore, you can build flexion in that process, so when you get the shin linear, you have the flexion to optimize and create all that explosive power, which is gonna make you a hard throwing pitcher.